okay, continue the talk on Star Wars. It's just like I said, The Mandalorian set at a good time, but it's like all this stuff with the new movies and all this side stuff that's happening. Like at times, no one really cares about with characters. No one really cares about. Um, I will say like the new animated one they put out a while ago, the Bad Batch.
Mhm.
That one was actually kind of fun because it follows characters from the animated series and it continues a little bit of their stories. So I liked the animated series. Those were good. I think Rebels gets a bad name. I think it was a very solid show. Uh, the Clone Wars is really good. The last season was apparently really great. And Bad Batch wasn't that bad. It shows us like the early days of the Empire and some of the like really horrible shit they started to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I find something like Endor just I have nothing to connect with. And it's not even a thing about like, oh, there's no Jedi, there's no Skywalkers. It's more like I know where this all goes.
Yeah. You could say the same thing with Kenobi. You already know the end game. You know what's going to happen to him. But still, with that character, you care a bit more about how we get to that journey. With Andor, I don't know.
Yeah, it's also a thing like Kenobi also kind of like throws a wench in things because now Vader and Palpatine specifically know that Kenobi's alive.
Mm.
You think they'd be like doing the biggest fucking manhunt to find him, but like they're just like, well, he's alive. I guess he'll turn up eventually.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like it really feels like milking a dead horse, you know. Like at least something like Mandalorian makes sense in the timeline. We do not need a second season of Book of Boba Fett. We didn't need one season of Book of Boba Fett.
oh God.
Let's be honest. Book of Boba Fett was Mandalorian 2.5.
I'm sorry. When you have the real thing come, you're having, you don't want to go for the imitation. And don't get me wrong, I love the character Boba Fett, but I don't see it was necessary to really do a mini series like that. I'm thankful that's a mini series.
Yeah, but it's getting a season 2.
Oh God.
Like I remember watching it. I'm like, okay, we got like multicolored teenagers with attitude. We got like random people in a random fight. This show's so boring. We have to go get Mandalorian to show up to spice things up.
Ah, man.
Yeah, we need to get the sheriff back to spice things up. They basically just took out Boba's teeth. Like they made him too kid friendly. And it's like, I'm gonna be the daimyo, I'm gonna be the mob boss, but I'm gonna rule the heart of gold. It's like, at that point, you're just the mayor. What the fuck?
You want a Boba Fett that's dangerous.
Yeah. Like they played him too soft. And like, okay, yeah, his time with the Raiders changed him. Okay, maybe he's the reason why he's taking over is because he wants to find out who killed the Raiders because they saved his life and he feels indebted to them. Or maybe he specifically says like that's the first time I've ever felt at peace in my life. That like if it was more of a revenge story and he's doing all this to like find out what happened, it would have been. I think it would have made a more interesting story.
See, this is what happens, folks, when you actually have indie creators, coming up with their own multiple storylines for popular franchises.
Yeah. Do you remember that Darth Vader miniseries that somebody made, like a fan series?
Yes, I do remember that.
And I think the thing about it is that Mace Windu is like hunting down Darth Vader, and he has like a bionic arm now, and like it's basically him trying to get back at Vader or try to like Also, apparently, Mace Windu is embracing more of the dark side in order to get the power to defeat them.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's also showing a little bit of Vader's desires in that he wants to kill the Emperor, but he's just not strong enough or he doesn't have the will to do it.
yeah,
I'm like, okay, that's an interesting concept for a miniseries.
yeah. You hear that? You hear that, Lucasfilm?
Yeah. But he kind of got he kind of showed up Lucasfilm a little bit too much, and they did a bunch of DMCA's on him or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Eh,
I don't know. Like Star Wars is one of those franchises. Like I really don't know what to expect out of it at this point. Like I'm I'm totally jonesing for another season of Mandalorian. I'm really curious to see
yeah,
what they're going to do with that Ahsoka series because, like, Rosario Dawson playing Ahsoka, and she's looking for Admiral Thrawn, so it's literally going to be continuing the storyline from Rebels, and actually seeing characters from the cartoon done in live action and done well, like in Mandalorian was really good. So does that
yeah,
mean
absolutely.
we can meet Ezra, we can meet Sabine, we can meet the Ghost crew? Like that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'm totally ready for that. Just to see, both these seemingly different worlds come together, and say, yeah, this is part of the same universe. It's just a bigger universe.
Exactly. Oh, well, Star Wars aside, there's a bunch of stuff that's going to be coming out soon. What are some shows or movies that you're looking forward to?
Well, well, I definitely, like I said, looking forward to Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. That's one of the movies. A lot of the DC stuff has already been pushed back for a whole year because of reshoots.
Yeah. Oh my God. If we ever do a podcast on Ezra Miller, we're gonna have to like age gate that stuff or something. That is just like
Oh,
insanity on top of insanity on top of cult leaders. It's like what the hell's going on?
oh boy, that's a topic I don't want to cover just yet.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure this is still an ongoing situation.
Yeah, it's really sad. They cancel Batgirl and then they keep Flash, which has all this controversy around the main actor.
Well, let's face facts. It was probably easier, at least in Warner Brothers' minds, to cancel a $90 million movie as opposed to a $300 million movie.
That's true. The difference, though, is apparent from what I'm hearing. Like Flash tested really well with audiences, so it's like they're very much like, oh, this is a really hard one not to put out there.
Yeah, I think if it's just well with the audiences, I think we're in for a good movie, but I think going forward they seriously need to recast Flash like immediately.
Oh God, yes. Like I don't think I've heard of a situation like this before. It's like the movie's not even out, and it's part of like a franchise, right?
Yeah,
And the filming's all done. It's going through shoots, through final editing. It's going to start promoting it soon. But there's so much controversy around the main star that you're like, if this was any other movie, it'd probably get shelved. But because
yeah,
it's a tentpole franchise, it's a big name. It's like it's one of those like you don't know how to feel about it. Like I remember I felt something similar when I saw Ender's Game. In that
yeah,
all these actors and the people who work on it, it's not their fault that the guy who made Ender's Game is a huge homophobe. It's like they put in a lot of work into and acting and time into making this movie, and unfortunately, yes, this is some of this is going to go into the pocket of a not the best guy on the planet, but it's also paying the salaries and like making the careers of all these other people.
yeah. It really does hurt not just the film but also the cast and crew that actually worked very hard on this project. It's hurting them personally,
Yeah,
and financially.
it's like
But yeah,
it's like what happened not long ago with Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Joss Whedon.
yes,
It's like, yeah, Josh Whedon made all this, but like are you gonna let what the shit Joss Whedon did ruin like your enjoyment of Sarah, Salguero playing Buffy or all the other actors, the stories? It becomes this thing where you have to separate the artist from the medium.
It's true. It's true. I mean, you can't take away what was it, 7 years of great television. You know, just because the creator did some very shady stuff.
Yeah. But I think the difference here is that a lot of those are the creator, the person behind the scenes.
Yeah, yeah.
But
With Ezra Miller, it's the actor. It's
it,
the actor.
mhm. Like who knows like what's going to come out about him in the near future or what other stuff's happened. And then like you might have people who have a very, very bad taste in their mouth about Ezra Miller, both metaphorically and literally. And they see his face everywhere. They see all that.
It's not good business. I think with if I was part of the marketing team of Warner Brothers, I would probably do less of his face on the posters. Maybe just do a blur, of the Flash running. Not really get a good look at his face and saying the Flash.
Oh yeah,
Because
no,
I think,
obviously, like if marketing wise, I would not put Ezra Miller's face on anything. More like the suit, the costume, like, and just basically try to have him in the outfit as much as possible. Try not to have him in the out of outfit as much as possible.
yeah, yeah. I unfortunately with the trailers, that they're gonna come, you got no choice in that.
Yeah, like
But I think poster wise, I think they should just use just the costume, him in the costume, not really seeing his face, just him running, and you're like, yeah, because I think that would sell like hotcakes if you don't have the actor's face on that.
oh yeah,
But but I think it was probably smart for them to delay the movie, to hopefully some of the controversy would die down. I'm not sure it's gonna all die down like they're hoping it, but uh, despite that, I'm still looking forward to seeing the movie.
yeah, yeah. Between that and also Aquaman 2 with like Amber Heard in it, like it's
Oh yeah.
man, DC
Oh
pick them.
yeah. That's yeah. No one knew that was going to explode that way. Nobody knew that.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of those tapes of her being abusive came out a long time ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's tricky stuff. It's tricky stuff. But on some like brighter stuff that I'm looking forward to. This month is a bunch of new shows coming out that I've been really looking forward to. I don't know if you ever watched, if you're big on anime at all.
I actually am a good big anime fan.
All right. So, did you watch Bleach?
I did. I did.
Are you aware that they're bringing it back this month to animate the final arc of the manga?
Yes, I did. I was aware of this.
So I am looking forward to that because the Thousand Year Blood War arc was. I have mixed feelings about it, but from what I understand, Shonen Jump was already like rushing it, like just finish it, just finish it. Like Kubo was
Yeah.
being rushed through the whole thing, and you can tell reading it. So he even said in like interviews, like, oh, they're going to be adding more fights, they're going to be adding more interactions, they're going to be adding maybe some stuff from the light novels. So it's like, cool. So we're going to get the final arc of Bleach, but we also might get it done better than it was in the manga because now like the Kubo, I think he's a producer on the anime for this time around. So you can be like, hey, yeah, this is how I wrote it. And this is all the feedback we got over the last decade. Let's make it good. It doesn't have to be one for one from the manga. Like they can readapt it, they can change some stuff, they can add some stuff, they can better explain some stuff. And I'm actually like, it's channeling that nostalgia in me, from Bleach.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be exciting to see what they're gonna come up with. It's gonna be very exciting.
Yeah. Did you ever read this came out last year? Did you read the one-shot Hell arc, the Hell chapter from Bleach?
I actually missed that one. How was it?
You should actually read it. Long story short, it was basically supposed to be a one-shot anniversary chapter, all right? But reading it, it's more of a
Uh,
pilot for a new arc.
Jeez.
But here's the thing, it's set after the epilogue. So
Really?
yeah, so it's adult Ichigo, adult Orihime and all that. You know, you have Ichigo's a kid who's a little Shinigami. You have Rukia and Renji's kid, and it's held, I think, 10 years after the end of the series, and they're holding a funeral, an anniversary for the death of the captains from the Thousand Year Blood War arc. So they did one for the captain commander, they did one for Unohana, and then they were going to do one for Ukitake. And like they're doing the ritual and they're doing everything, but then they're attacked by monsters from hell.
Okay, I'm picking it up. That's it.
And I'm not gonna tell you any further, because I think once you start seeing what the monsters are and their connection to what's going on with this funeral,
Yeah.
trust me, a lot of people were like booming, like, oh my god, this is such an interesting concept for an arc, because apparently Kubo had all these ideas for hell that he never got to use. And even in the movies where they actually do go to hell, apparently Tite Kubo had all these notes he gave the production staff, like, okay, this is my vision of hell, this is what it's supposed to be like, and they used none of it.
Typical.
Yeah. So now
Typical.
he's like, you know what? I'm gonna do what I always wanted to do with the hell arc. And he's like, oh, Kubo, why don't you make us an anniversary chapter for Bleach? You know, something after the epilogue. Yes, I will do that. And he basically makes basically a pilot episode for a whole new show, and it's really good, because I read it not too long ago, because I was getting back into Bleach. I was learning about the new series coming out, so I was like just like revisiting some old theory videos and all that, and I stumbled upon it, and it's honestly it's really good. I liked it. It's also nice seeing where everybody is. Like, there's this one thing at the beginning of the chapter where Rukia is commenting on like or on Ichigo, saying like, oh, you left your wife at home to do all the chores. That's really not that good of you, Ichigo. That's like causes what these kinds of problems. Like, where the hell did you even learn words like that, Rukia? It's like, oh, we just got TV in the Soul Society. Apparently, like Urahara, like he's basically adapting a lot of technology from Earth and adapting it to work in the Soul Society. So now Soul Society actually has TV. And like all the Shinigami are just watching like actual television now, and it's just like they're learning through sitcoms and pop culture. It's hilarious.
Oh god.
But yeah, it's a very interesting chapter. I really enjoyed it, and it got like me pumped up for more Bleach. So I'm really hoping that the new series is going to do well, because if it does well, that means they're gonna be like, hey, we have all these light novels we never adapted. Let's adapt those. Hey, we have like all this interest in the Hell arc. Let's put money into that. Hey, Kubo, just start. Just do it at your own pace. Put it out at your own pace. Just give us more Bleach, because man, that shit was gangbusters like a good 15, 20 years ago, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, like it was one of the big three anime coming out at the time, so it's really nice to see it coming back. Yeah.
Okay, so I had to check this out though. I had to check this out. All right.
Good. The other two things I'm really excited coming about this month, maybe one's in November, I need to double check, but did you watch Inside Job on Netflix?
I did. It's insane. It's messed up. It's like, just watching Rick and Morty meeting Archer. It's that type of sick, twisted humor, and it's hilarious. Christian Slater, my God,
Yeah.
quite the scene stealer every time his character comes on.
Yeah, season 2 should be starting this month.
I had to rewatch the trailer for that because I know some crazy stuff is supposed to happen this upcoming season. That's gonna blow everybody's minds, but I just have to familiarize myself with that.
Yeah. The other thing that's coming out this month, I don't know if this is the kind of show you enjoy, but they're putting out season 4 of The Dragon Prince finally.
I actually have not seen that.
Yeah, it's a really good show. It's made by the same people who made Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Hmm.
I don't know if you ever watched that.
I did watch that. I did watch that.
Yeah. So it's made by the same group of people, and you can even like the guy who voiced Sokka voices one of the main characters in this. I remember there was an episode where he like finds a boomerang and he's like, boomerang. Like he's channeling a past life, but no, honestly, it's a really solid show. It has a very good high fantasy. So like, especially if you like stuff like D&D, you like stuff like dragons, elves, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. So far, there's like 3 seasons are out, and it's the first 3 seasons are the first arc. Like
Okay.
it's a complete story more or less, but they leave some stuff open. Season 4 is the beginning of a new arc after like a certain year's time skip.
Okay.
And I was actually worried that the show's going to be canceled because I remember like Netflix canceled a shit ton of stuff, but because like I believe the company is its own thing, they just air it on Netflix. They continued making it.
Yeah. Well, it's still gonna be interesting for fans of that to see what happens.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be lots of fun. Oh, and just to finish up some other stuff that just finished airing. You watch Archer?
Oh, I did. I certainly did. Oh boy.
This was an interesting season.
Yeah, it's a huge adjustment from obviously Mallory Archer, retiring because of the original voice actress passed away. It was a nice touch, especially the last scene of the last season where she and her husband, are just looking off in the sunset. I'm like, that's nice. Then
Yeah.
we get to this season, and then the crazy just starts.
To add to that scene, the person who played her husband in the show was her husband in real life.
Yeah,
He had also recently passed not long ago.
yeah,
So basically that scene is like they're both the actors who played these two characters are dead and they're being reunited in the show, like they're together. It's just when you know the context of that scene, it's very beautiful.
it is. It's very touching.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Archer is, somewhat grown a bit since last season. I say that a bit because I'm saying he's not really changed that much, but I think emotionally he's just at a just really much trying to say, okay, he's in a fork in the road. Do I go this direction or do I go in the other direction? Because if you remember the episode, I think this was like maybe episode 3, where he's actually seeing a therapist.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that was the before last episode. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so you're like, Archer's seeing a therapist?
Oh yeah.
What universe has that ever happened?
Weirdest stuff has happened. Oh, like
Yeah.
slept with almost all the women at the office for some reason.
Yeah, so he's clearly Archer's clearly is like contemplating leaving, this sort of lifestyle. I'm like, is this going to be a callback to later in the season?
Yeah.
Because I know they kind of could have put a kibosh shot in at the end of the episode, but maybe
Yeah. Did you watch the last episode?
I did. The bank job, everything goes wrong, and then we find out that Pam is actually in a relationship.
Yeah. Well, no, a polyamorous primary,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I believe what it was. I find interesting is like they're definitely setting up the next season because everything that they've been doing this season for IA has been to blackmail this progressive country into like reverting its old ways, and they realize they're responsible for all this.
Yeah, so I think somehow, yeah, that's gonna be leaked out to obviously that country's president. And like, okay, go after this agency, guys.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. Like, are they gonna try to start cleaning up their mess? What's going on? So I am definitely looking forward to this stuff.
Yeah, Fabian is really an interesting character, because I think at the beginning of the season, you knew he was gonna pull some shady stuff. You
Mhm.
just knew it. And then just to find out what happened in the last episode, this past episode, you're like, okay, I can see what his game plan is here. And he's setting up our team to take the fall for it. So it's gonna be interesting to see how our heroes get out of this mess that they helped start on without knowing it.
Oh yeah. But it's always nice to see Archer come back. But then like you only have it for a few weeks, then it's gone for like 2 years.
Yeah, because they had to come up with stories, they had to come up with,
Animation budgets.
damn it.
Yeah. At least it's not like Venture Brothers, man. That took forever between seasons.
Uh,
But apparently, I really hope it's still happening. Like they announced they're making movies for Venture Brothers, Metalocalypse, and another show to finish off those series respectfully,
hmm.
which I am definitely looking forward to. I love a good Metalocalypse. Oh, another comic book related show that I've been really enjoying. Stargirl is back.
Yes.
Have you been watching the new season?
I've actually been taping them. I haven't seen much of the new season, but I'm hearing very good glowing things about it.
I don't know what it is about Stargirl, but that show just hits it out of the water, or out of the park. I find it really fun.
Well, because I think because they probably learned a lesson with some of the other shows that they have done and say, okay, this is what we can't do for the series.
Yeah, just make sure you don't go full CW on it.
Yeah, leave a little, mystery in there, add a little bit more comic book details in there instead of this CW drama.
Oh my god, yeah, because I got so fed up of the Flash. Apparently,
I'm gonna watch the last season just to see how it ends, but at this point, I'm like, it checked out like 5 seasons ago.
yeah, I find like it's just been so repetitive with everything that's been going on the Flash, but like, yeah, I think I'm the next season, for God's sakes, better be the last season because they are really beating a dead horse with that one.
Well, it is the last season because they actually cut their season order, episode order down to 13 episodes.
Oh,
So
thank God.
it's coming to the end.
Yeah, because I believe that's one of the only DC shows that's coming back this year, aside from Stargirl, because all the other ones got canceled. Batgirl got canceled. Arrow's been canceled for a while.
I loved Arrow.
Black Lightning, was that one canceled?
Yeah, that one was canceled. I think that was after what, 4 seasons, maybe?
Yeah.
I
Legends
enjoy.
got canceled.
Yeah, I enjoyed Black Lightning. I really enjoyed it.
I need to like sit down and marathon it at some point, but I was very sad that Legends of Tomorrow got canceled because they just brought in Booster Gold
Yes, and it ended on a cliffhanger.
because they didn't know they were going to get canceled. Like they thought like it was a sure thing.
I wouldn't be surprised at some point. I know HBO Max is still cutting shows left and right. I'm hoping maybe somebody will like, can we please just get just maybe a movie from you guys just to end the series on a more positive note?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna happen.
I gotta look into Doom Patrol. Like, did they cancel Doom Patrol, or that's supposed to get?
They did not cancel Doom Patrol. That's coming back.
All right, good.
That was actually close to cancellation as well as Titans, but that's coming back as well.
I watched the first season of Titans, but I just couldn't fully get into it.
Well, it's just one of those things you're like, okay, this is more of the Titans that, we're used to see a certain version of the characters,
Yeah.
whether you go up with the comic book or the animated series, the good one, not Teen Titans Go, not that crap. I know you guys actually like that show, but it's not the same.
All I gotta say about Teen Titans Go is that it's made for kids. It apparently does really well with kids, so good on them, you know?
Yeah,
So it hits their target audience. Teen Titans Go is not really made for me and you.
no, it's not.
And I think that sometimes, as you know, people who grew up on cartoons, people who grew up on comic books and all that, sometimes we have to just accept that some of these things that are being made are not being made with us as the target demographic.
Oh, trust me, I gave up on. I've already accepted that.
Yeah. But I think some people have a very difficult time accepting that and just like, you know, learning just to sit back and enjoy what they're watching. It's like, you know, I still really much enjoy Disney cartoons. You know, you've heard me talk all about that kind of stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I remember you talking about DuckTales.
Oh yeah, that was a good show.
Yes, it was.
They also made what was it there? I'm also looking forward to later in October. They're putting they had a show called The Owl House that was running on Disney recently.
Mhm.
Really good show. Really stupid decision to axe the third season into, instead of being a full season, they axed it into 3 45-minute specials.
Uh,
So instead of being 26 episodes, it's the equivalent of like 6 or 7 episodes.
Not a smart move. Not a smart
No,
move.
it's really not. But on the bright side, that kind of goes back to our argument earlier. Maybe sometimes having less is more, because you know, when you have a smaller time frame and a more like, okay, what can we tell? How can we tell it? We have to make sure we're using every second to the best of our abilities. So when you put those limitations, sometimes you get more creativity, you get more cool, this would look really good here.
Yeah, this is pretty much going back to our discussion with Orville. You know,
Mhm.
whether the move of going from Fox to Hulu was a smart one. And I think you and I were both agreement. Yeah, if you do know what the time limit is, you can be a bit more creative.
Exactly, yeah. But speaking of which, before we finish up like today's episode, like what do you think of the ending of the Orville?
It definitely felt like a end of series type of ending. Maybe they may get picked up for season 4, maybe not, but it looked like we got a lot of closure for a lot of the characters, and I thought that the wedding between Isaac and Claire was very touching.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it had a good ending. It was a lot of fun. The whole side, not silent, the whole were they called Cylons? No.
No. I forget. I had to rewatch
Kalon.
the
The whole Kalon fleet
That's it.
showing up for the wedding was hilarious. Like that was
Super
really,
awkward.
yeah, but
Yeah,
that's so in line with the comedy of the show. I loved it. And that was really
absolutely.
well done. And like I really hope it gets picked up for another season. Hopefully they'll have a bit more comedy. Like, you know, I really do enjoy my Star Trek. Speaking of which, tell me you watched this week's episode of Lower Decks.
I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
It was
I
basically
was,
a DS9 episode.
and you know something? I'm actually gonna say, hey, I want DS9 animated series
Yeah.
in this style.
Like that entire episode, like with everything that happened, like the station going down, Quark up to no good, and like the resolution at the end, everything about that episode, like if you told me they brought in some writers from DS9 to write this episode, I would believe you. Like the entire structure of the episode was so DS9 and I loved it.
And not to mention the attention to the detail of the sets. I mean, my God.
Morn was there.
Yeah.
No, that was
Yeah, it got you very excited, and you're like, please give us a DS9 animated series. Please give us a DS9 animated series.
you know, I will say this though.
Mhm.
I remember when Lower Decks first came out, all like the fandom menace people, they were all like ready to trash it and tear it apart. There's all these videos coming out about how horrible Lower Decks is and how people just don't get it. And like then you talk to actual fans and people are loving Lower Decks.
Yeah, because not only are they being respectful, obviously, to Gene Roddenberry's original vision, they're making fun of it at the same time, which is perfectly fine with for me because I'm like, yeah, there is some questionable stuff in Star Trek that like you can't help but make fun of.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. It just they know what they're doing. Like Lower Decks is written by fans for fans. It's funny, it's good. Like they poke fun at the movies. It's great stuff. And I noticed that all those Fandom Menace people, they stopped talking about Lower Decks altogether, or at the very least, it's not showing up in my feeds when they do.
Yeah, and here's the interesting thing: because the writers are actually making fun of some of the Star Trek movies, it's actually making fans rewatch the movies.
Hmm. I'm just waiting for like Cisco to goddamn show up in this show.
I'm hoping it does happen, but I'm told that we're actually getting a Strange New Worlds crossover happening in the
I believe
season.
it.
Yeah,
It would make sense. They would just like time travel. It's Star Trek. It's par for the course.
exactly.
And I think there's also rumors going around that Cisco might show up in the new season of Picard.
That I had to wait and see. I'm excited that I'm seeing that's coming out just to see the original crew coming in, the Next Generation crew. But I'm hoping to God that the storyline that they have for season 3 is a really, really, really good one with no flaws. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well, remember what I told you about season 2 is that I literally watched the first episode and the last episode, and that's all I needed.
Yeah,
Like everything that happens in between is just fluff because time going into the past, rewriting timelines. Like, okay, Q's dead apparently. Uh, but it also kind of makes sense because Cisco is basically a god now, so him
yeah,
just like
absolutely.
popping up every so often would be fairly interesting, and it kind of adds a capstone to Picard's story as well, because remember they had that awkwardness between them, Picard and Cisco,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
and it was never resolved. It's like Picard, Cisco always like gave shit to Picard, and rightfully so. Like he's like, I don't like you, dude. Your mess ups really messed up my world, and I'm not forgiving you, but I'm accepting this job. So fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think this is a good time to end.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right. So as always, you can check out our comic books on Sierra Nova Comics, which is a platform
Absolutely.
filled to the brink with various indie comics. Depending on when you're watching this, I believe they're launching their Kickstarter for Sierra Chronicles 2, Horror Chronicles 2, and they just put
Chronicles
out,
of Horror. Yeah.
thank you, Chronicles of Horror 2, and they just put out a new book, or just successfully finished their Kickstarter for Mittens, which I need to write a review for today.
Well, once again, I am Ian Miller from Triple Threat Comics.
Peter Dragos from Medallion Comics. So thank you for listening to our marvelous 5 to 6 viewers. Fingers crossed. And have a great day and an excellent spooky season.
Bye, folks.
Bye.